nice that they have the extra day with the double bye going into Friday. You know, you're going to have either Purdue, Rutgers, or USC. I'd bet on it being Purdue. They're going to have a lot of fans there. They're not playing great over the last month. Really, Michigan, they lose to Michigan. They lose 4 in a row. They got a little bit back on track, and then Illinois is playing better, so you lose to them on the road on Friday night. But that Purdue game, if it is that matchup, could be kind of interesting. I don't know that Michigan matches up great, other than what you're talking about now. They're kind of using that bigger lineup here and there, but your thoughts on, I guess, that potential matchup?
Honestly, of the 6 teams that Purdue could play in that first round, I think USC and Rutgers are the worst 2 for them to play. Okay. Because I just think, they're one, Rutgers from a talent standpoint, you have 0 days to prepare. You have 10 hours? No, 24 hours, whatever, a few hours to prepare for.
They did just prep for a week and a half ago, though.
They what now?
Purdue just prepared for Rutgers about a week and a half ago. But
they did, and that's not a good thing. I think playing 2 teams in a very small, playing the same team in a very small window, I don't think that's a good thing for the winning team, honestly. Okay. Because you're resting on that, right? You're resting on that blowout. And that was a game where Rutgers was up early. Rutgers was up by 8 early. And then Purdue just goes on a crazy run after that. And this was in Mackey. USC and Rutgers, I think, pose a lot of problems for a lot of these teams. It's because they have, it's good that they're going to get each other out in this first game, because I just think Wesley Yates, Desmond Claude, I think that's a dangerous duo. And Ace and Dylan are a dangerous duo. They both play big on the perimeter, and that's really hard to prepare for. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's good that they're getting each other out in the first one. And I think, I'm telling you, out of all the teams, those are the 2 that I would want to avoid for sure.
Well, Rutgers is going to Indy thinking they're winning the Big Ten tournament. If you're those 2 lottery picks, that's what you're thinking. And then I said this to my dad a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, when USC was starting to string together a couple wins. Mm-hmm. Claude was playing well. It was before he got hurt or sick or whatever it was. And I was like, USC looks like a team that's going to win a couple games in the Big Ten tournament. They just something about them, almost like the Ohio State team a couple years ago that went on that crazy run. So you're right; those are interesting matchups. The interesting thing too is that Michigan hasn't played USC in a long time. I think January 4th was when they played out in LA, and Michigan was kind of a different team. And then you've played Rutgers and Purdue twice, right? You have 3 double play opponents in the regular season. These are 2 of them. It didn't go well the first time against Purdue. It didn't go well the second time against Rutgers, but you win on an Amari Burnett buzzer beater. You got out the second Purdue win. The first Purdue game at the Rack or Jersey Mike's was actually, I thought Michigan was pretty good in that game. And that was another one when Rutgers hit 2 threes at the end. It made it look way closer. It was really an 8-point win, but it ended up being a 3 or 4. But so those are
right per usual.
Yeah, exactly. Michigan was the king of the bad beats there for 2 weeks. Duffy was even acknowledging that. He's got to just pulse on, he knows everything that's going on. He sees the Twitter man. He said people were Venmo requesting him when they would lose on a bad beat.
Wait, who?
Dusty.
Oh, Dusty.
So he knows exactly all the different stuff going on in college basketball. And people started to bring up those stats, right? Of you guys have won 9 in a row, close games or whatever. He's like, well, we were getting random shots hit on us at the end. But so you look at the bracket here. I think that, Michigan would have liked to win the other day, become the 2. But I think Michigan matches up with Maryland if you're able to get through and Maryland gets through, which is no guarantee. Better than a Michigan State on Saturday, obviously. I think the Maryland matchup is actually good for Michigan. I think Michigan sleptwalked through the first half last week and then turned it on and then turned it over too much. But There's a path there if you get your mojo back. Yeah,
they're very similar in terms of how their teams are built. Not that deep. You play two bigs a ton. The power forward is probably a pro. Very, very similar groups. Very similar groups. But yeah, man, it's.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this, and being able to, even at Illinois, Maryland, you're probably gonna get Illinois, Maryland, right?
Yep.
And talking with Illinois fans, they hate playing Maryland because they haven't beaten them in years. It's just kind of insane.
It's just a weird one.
It's so strange. Illinois fans saw the bracket and they were pissed. They're like, "No, Maryland, no."
That's like Michigan fans if they got Illinois right away because Michigan hasn't beaten Illinois since Beeline.
Yeah, in a long time. I don't think since when Beeline was there.
Yes, Jawan never beat him, and Dusty lost his first time. Yeah. So
it's crazy.
Who wins the Big Ten tournament? Look at the bracket. I know there's only one extra team in, but doesn't the bracket look significantly more confusing and crazy with just one more team? This is going to be an odd year.
Oh, I like it. I loved the Big Ten tourney bubble watch this year. I thought that was the greatest thing to happen. People are like, "No, all teams should be able to make it." I was like, "No, absolutely not. This is not a, hey, you're in the league, you get to go. If you don't finish in the top 80%, no, you don't get to go. Period. You know what I mean?" But I'll say, man, who do you like? Because I think that one thing that I do like about the bracket is that Michigan State's route is the easiest. And for them to do what they did this year, I think it mirrors, hey, you did the best, you get the easiest route, right? That's a good thing, right? At the same time, I don't like Indiana or Oregon's matchup with them because one, Indiana beat them at their place, and then Oregon was up 50-36 after the first half, right? Until Jace went absolutely bananas, right? So, that's going to be a tough matchup because Indiana is playing well, Oregon is playing well, and they're built, to win games, in my opinion. Northwestern, Minnesota, talk about two very, very underrated coaches with a lack of resources. They just don't have the resources that these other teams have, not even close. But just watching Northwestern and Minnesota this year, I don't think any other team had their teams more prepared for the games. And I think over time, the personnel, it kind of got to them a bit, where they just get overwhelmed. But if you look at the first half of these games, there's a reason why Minnesota went and swept LA, right? Not a lot of teams did that.
Just them and Michigan, I think.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Wisconsin didn't even do it, right? Michigan State went 0-2 out there. And for Minnesota to go out there and do that was very impressive. But then, of course, they lose to Northwestern and Penn State at the crib when they come back, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's really underrated game. Ohio State is in trouble, especially if they lose this game. They're not getting in at 17 and 15. I'm sorry, they're just not. Even if they win that game and then lose to Wisconsin, 18 and 15 would be the worst at-large record that I've seen get in 8 years. No team with 18 wins and 15 losses have got in under the net. And that's, I think, the 2019 tournament was the last time a team got in with 15 losses. That was from the SEC. That was the last time. The bubble is extremely weak, so it may be one of those odd years that you could maybe slip in there. But I just think the committee is going to see that 15 losses and 18 wins. They're just like, nope, can't do it. This is a big week for them.
Huge.
I don't even know, man. I don't know, because the 1-day prep is going to come down to. It's honestly going to come down to the players. I don't think anyone from Wednesday can win. I just think it's just too many games. I mean, would you be shocked at Illinois?
No, I was going to bring them up. I think Morez Johnson might be back too.
Yeah, with Morez back, like that changes a lot. Like they've missed him big time.
Yes.
And if you get him back, I mean, oof. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at Illinois, man. But that Friday slate is going to be something.
It's going to be incredible when you look at the potential matchups. I think Thursday looks.
Even Thursday going to be tough. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. Look at the good teams playing on Thursday in the Big Ten tournament. It might be.
Could get Minnesota, Wisconsin. That's a rivalry.
Yes.
Man, Ohio State, Illinois would be a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
Then either USC or Rutgers versus Purdue is going to be awesome to watch.
That's going to be the late game. The crazy things happened. That late game was when, remember, Evan Smotrich hit a shot, in overtime or to force overtime against Minnesota back in 2012. Like weird things happen in that late Thursday game. I'm excited for that. I'll be down there by then, and I'm going to go to that and in-person scout Michigan's opponent. But so
nice.
we'll see that. Yeah, Illinois, if they hit 27% of their threes, wins the whole thing.
If they just get hot for like 4 days.
They easily could. And if they get the reinforcement and have a little more depth and rebounding and everything Johnson brings. But here's the thing, too. Like last year, so I think Michigan State's the best team. And Dusty said it last night. He said they're first place. There's a big difference between that and second place this year. And I think that was the case throughout the course of the Big Ten season. But it was also the case last year when Purdue was easily the best team. They lose in the Big Ten tournament semis to Wisconsin. Purdue goes to the national title game. Wisconsin gets bounced in the first round to James Madison. So I'm kind of the belief that like things are going to happen. They don't necessarily mean that something else is going to happen. It's why it's an exciting time of year. So would I bet on Michigan State winning the Big Ten tournament? I would think that they have the best chance, but I also would probably say they shouldn't be the odds-on favorite. I don't think they are. I haven't looked at it yet, but and UCLA's got a shot. I mean, all these teams do, so it's going to be really exciting.
Did you see Mick Cronin, what he said?
No.
He's just pissed at everything, dude. Like, man, is there anything that Mick Cronin does not he just hates everything. He just hates everything. Man, there was someone sent it to me. He said something about the Big Ten tournament. I can't find it.
But he complains a lot.
Yes. Yes, big time. But he was complaining about the Big Ten tournament, saying that it was a waste of everybody's time.
Hey, it's a fun waste of time, though. I don't think it's a waste of time. I love it, but
yeah, I love it. Like, it's great for the fans. It's just it is more of a sprint, right? It's just like are you a fan of the mile or are you a fan of the 100 dash, right? This is a 100-meter dash right here. Like, it's not about stamina. It's about race to Sunday, ready, set, go.
For sure. That's why it is exciting, and I love watching all of them. I know you watch pretty much every Big Ten game the whole year, which again, a lot of people don't. So
it's pretty insane. Not gonna lie.